Hello, and welcome to the International Students and Programs Office's webinar on applying for your U.S. student visa. The International Students and Programs Office, otherwise known as ISPO, here at UC San Diego, is here to welcome you. This webinar is a guide for both newly admitted students to UC San Diego who are applying for their F1 or J1 visa for the first time, as well as returning students to UC San Diego. ISPO at UC San Diego is your one-stop shop for all services and programs for international students. ISPO provides immigration advising as well as non-immigration advising topics to help you understand how to navigate your program and succeed at UC San Diego. Come and visit us. We have 21 friendly faces ready to help answer your questions. Aside from advising and issuing your immigration documents, we also offer events and workshops to support the successful transition of students to campus and student life, as well as to enrich the academic, research, and intercultural experiences of all students at UC San Diego. The beginning of your student visa journey starts with documents issued by the International Students and Programs Office. So let's start here. If you plan on applying for the F1 student visa, which most degree-seeking students do, you will need to request what is called the Form I-20. If you plan on applying for the J1 visa, which all exchange visitors and most third-party students, sponsored students do, you will need to request what is called the Form DS-2019. Either documents need to be requested via ISPO's iPortal online document request system at iportal.ucsd.edu. If you are unsure about what visa type is applicable to you, don't worry. The iPortal will make an accurate determination based on the answers you provide in your application. Note that even if you are a transfer student, that is, you attended a U.S. high school or U.S. university, and you now wish to transfer your SEVIS record to UC San Diego, you will still need to apply for your Form I-20 or Form DS-2019 from ISPO in order to attend UC San Diego. Once you have logged into the iPortal using your Student Single Sign-On Credentials, or SSO, you will be asked a series of questions to direct you to the correct document request type. You will also be required to upload evidence of financial support and a copy of your passport biographical page. To ensure you meet the minimum financial support required, visit our cost of attendance charts at inewstudent.ucsd.edu. Once your I-20 or DS-2019 document is processed, it will be sent to you via your shipping method of choice. ISPO strongly encourages students to sign up for an express mailing account via eShip Global, as this option provides a much more secure method of shipment along with tracking. Now, let's go over how to book your F1 or J1 visa appointment. Note that citizens of Canada and Bermuda do not need to apply for an F1 or J1 visa. However, they must still present their valid Form I-20 or DS-2019 upon requesting entry to the U.S. They must also pay certain visa-related fees, like the SEVIS fee, which we'll go over later in this presentation. For those of you who do need to apply for their F1 or J1 visa, once you have your document in hand, it's time to book your visa appointment. Note that you need to have your Form I-20 or DS-2019 with you in order to book this appointment, since it has what is called your SEVIS ID number on it. This is an alphanumeric ID starting with the letter N that is unique to you and helps identify you accurately in the U.S. Department of Homeland Security's Student and Exchange Visitor or SEVIS system. J1 students will also need what is called the J1 program number, also located on your Form DS-2019, to book your visa appointment. These forms cannot be sent electronically to students per SCVP regulations. Further, photocopies of these forms are not considered valid for use for your visa appointment or for travel. You must have the original document in hand. Now for a few other ISPO tips. If you have a valid F1 or J1 visa stamp in your passport from a previous U.S. school that has not been used for entry into the U.S. or activated before, you cannot use this with your initial I-20 or DS-2019 to enter the U.S. You will need to apply for a new visa stamp with a SEVIS ID that matches your visa documents and reflects UC San Diego as your school name on it. If you already have a valid F1 or J1 visa stamp in your passport from a previous U.S. school that you have used before, you may be able to use this with your new I-20 or DS-2019 from UC San Diego to enter the U.S. However, we always advise that you verify this first with your local U.S. Embassy or consulate before you travel. If you are a SEVIS transfer student, that is, your old school transferred your F1 or J1 record to UC San Diego, and that visa stamp has not expired, you can use this with your new I-20 or DS-2019 from UC San Diego. Even if that visa stamp still has your old school's name on it, that's okay. What matters is that your SEVIS ID is the same on your visa stamp and your new UCSD I-20 or DS-2019. To book your visa appointment online, first go to https://www.usembassy.gov and locate your nearest U.S. Embassy. Go to the non-immigrant section of your closest embassy website and follow the specific application instructions located there. Though, for the most part, the U.S. student visa application process requires the same steps no matter where you apply, there may be certain procedures that vary from embassy to embassy. So be sure to pay attention to this. On the first step, all applicants must complete is filling out the Form DS-160, Non-Immigrant Visa Application. Have your passport and Form I-20 or DS-2019 nearby so that you can input or upload required information from these documents. You will be asked to provide the address of the school you are attending, as well as the name of the school contact. This information is located on your Form I-20 or Form DS-2019. You may put down the name of the international student advisor who issued your document. If you are bringing dependents with you, for example, a spouse or a child, you can add their information to this application. Once your application is complete, print your confirmation page to bring with you to your visa appointment. Note there is a fee required for your visa interview, which is $160. Each embassy handles this visa fee differently. Some require payment in person, whereas some require it online before your appointment. Review your closest embassy's instructions so you are aware of when and how to pay this fee. All F1 or J1 visa applicants must pay the visa fee, even if you are renewing an expired F1 or J1 visa stamp. The second fee you must pay before attending your visa interview is called the SEVIS fee, or I-901 fee, accessible by going to www.fmjfee.com. This fee is required of all students applying for an F1 or J1 visa stamp for the first time, and it is also required for citizens of Canada and Bermuda before entering the U.S. for the first time in F1 or J1 status. The fees are as follows. F1 students are required to pay a $350 fee, while J1 students are required to pay a $220 fee. You can pay this fee online with a credit card or debit card, via Western Union wire service, or by mail. You can book your visa appointment prior to paying this fee, but be sure to pay the SEVIS fee at least 3 business days before your visa interview to allow for processing. For citizens of Canada and Bermuda, also make sure to pay this at least 3 business days before you appear at a U.S. port of entry. For more information, you can watch the following tutorial about how to pay the fee from the FMJ Fee website. Now, let's discuss preparing for your visa interview. These below listed are the items you will need to bring with you at your visa interview. Your passport, which is valid up to 6 months after your date of entry into the U.S., original Form I-20 or Form DS-2019, evidence of financial support for your studies at UC San Diego, a receipt of DS-160 application and payment, a receipt of your SEVIS I-901 fee payment, and lastly, documentation of home country address to show ties to your home country, such as utility bills. Every visa interview will differ slightly from person to person, but in general, you should be prepared to be brief and maintain a positive attitude. Consular officers are often under pressure to conduct visa interviews quickly and will, for the most part, form an impression of you from the very first minute of your interview. Keep your answers short and to the point. You should also be prepared to be questioned about your program of study and how it fits your long-term career goals. You must also be prepared to explain clearly your plan to return home after your program of study. Remember that your primary purpose of the F1 or J1 visa is to study in the U.S., not to be given the chance to work during or after your studies. Focus on your studies as your main goal of applying for the visa. Have the interview conducted in English rather than your native language. It's recommended that you practice your conversational English beforehand if you have concerns about this. Lastly, you may be required to demonstrate ties to your home country. This is a difficult thing to prove, and there is no magical document showing this that will guarantee visa issuance. You just need to show in your conversation that your reason for returning to your home country is stronger than any reason to remain in the U.S. long-term after your program of study. For example, possible job, family back home, owning a house or apartment, investments, financial prospects that you will inherit, etc. This can be helped by bringing documentation related to your family's home ownership, for example. Though they can understandably cause anxiety, visa delays are not completely uncommon. Let's go over what you should do if your visa is delayed. Each year, ISPO works with a handful of students whose visa applications have been put under what is called administrative processing, or AP. Nationals of certain countries and all international students whose area of study has been deemed sensitive by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security will have their names submitted for a special security clearance procedure that may take up to 60 days before a visa is issued. Though this time frame varies by country, it may be shorter or longer. Disciplines such as nuclear technology, chemical and biotechnology engineering, and advanced computer or microelectronic technology, as well as a broad range of engineering and physical sciences, are on the technology alert list. Students in these fields should expect delays in obtaining visas at consulates abroad. So, what do you do if your application is put under administrative processing? You should receive a 221G letter from the consular officer indicating that your visa application is on hold until security clearances can be made. You may or may not be asked to follow up and submit additional support documents for your application to be reviewed and processed. If you do not receive a 221G letter at your interview and you believe your application is being put through administrative processing, be sure to follow up with the U.S. Embassy or Consulate directly. You may email or call them directly. While this additional processing is pending, you can check the status of your visa application yourself by going to the U.S. Department of State's website. If it has been more than 60 days since your visa interview, or since you submitted any requested support documents, you can contact the consulate or embassy directly for an update. Unfortunately, administrative processing is a waiting game. There is little you can do but check on your visa application status while it goes through the required security clearances. If your application has been placed under administrative processing, it's important that you communicate with two offices. The first, ISPO, and the second, your department, or college if you are an undergraduate student. We can provide supporting documentation during this time by providing additional documents requested by the embassy or consulate, and we can also advocate for you. For example, departments can provide more detailed study plans upon request, and they can confirm certain research or study-related information on official letterhead. Also, ISPO can follow up directly with the U.S. consulate or embassy with a support letter on your behalf if your administrative processing case has gone beyond 60 days. It's also important for us to know so that we can help you plan for your late arrival to UC San Diego if needed. The vast majority of our students are able to arrive on time to begin their classes by the start of the fall quarter. But if not, we can work with your department or college on late arrivals or even deferral options if available. If your application is placed under administrative processing, please contact ISPO directly at inewstudent@ucsd.edu, along with your department or college. You can also find college and department contact information via the links on your screen. Once you have been issued your Form I-20 or J-1 visa stamp, you are ready to enter the U.S. We've put together the following brief video so you can learn about what to do next.
Arriving to the United States. You're finally packed and ready to start your program at UC San Diego. If you are traveling internationally, it's important to know what to expect once you've landed in the United States. When departing, it's important to make sure you have all your important immigration documents easily accessible in your personal carry-on bag. Double check that you have your passport, visa, and Form I-20 or DS 2019. You will need to show these documents to an immigration officer once you arrive. Do not pack these documents in your check-in bag. Once you've landed, follow the appropriate line for non-U.S. citizens. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers take your safety and those of others very seriously. Make sure you have your immigration documents organized and ready to show. Here, they will stamp your passport upon admission. They may ask you a few questions about the purpose of your trip in the United States, as well as inspect your baggage or personal items. Be patient, as this process may take some time. After grabbing your luggage, make sure you declare any items through the Customs Declaration form to avoid further delays. Travelers with connecting flights will need to have their baggage checked and screened to board the next flight. Keep in mind when planning your trip that you may be expected to go through a similar process during layovers. As a travel tip, leave ample time between connecting flights to allow enough time to clear customs. Check the monitors for gate information on your connection. When you land at your final destination, you can get more information about ground transportation at the local information desk in the main terminal. Once you've arrived to San Diego and settled in, complete your document self-check, ensuring that all documents are in order. Visit our website to learn how to do a document self-check. If you have any questions regarding your documents, you're always welcome to visit us on campus. We are excited to meet each of you and see you at our on-campus orientation. Make sure you look out for important messages coming soon regarding orientation. Safe travels, and we'll see you soon.
Sometimes students will experience delays entering a U.S. port of entry for additional questioning by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. If you are detained at a port of entry, please get in touch with ISPO via the following contact information. If it is after ISPO's normal business hours, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., you can call the emergency line, which will route you via UC San Diego's police to an international student advisor, who can then assist you. Be sure to review the tips outlined here on ISPO's emergency contact card as well. This can be helpful in navigating the process if you are detained by ICE. Note that this information is located in your admissions packet you received with your Form I-20 or DS-2019. Further information about what rights you do and do not have at a U.S. port of entry can be found via the link as well. There is a final piece to your travel and entry into the U.S. That is extremely important, and that is your document check. Watch this video about what steps you need to complete in order to maintain your F1 or J1 status in the U.S. after you arrive.
As an international student, it's important to be familiar with certain immigration documents and to keep these documents safe and up to date at all times. Let's go over them now. Your passport is an important form of identification. It is usually issued by a country's government, certifying the identity and nationality of its holder for international travel. Once you enter the U.S., it is important to remember to keep it valid at all times. Most students can renew their passport at an embassy or consulate in the U.S. Always be mindful of their expiration date and be sure that it is valid for at least 6 months into the future. If you are applying for or renewing your student visa, you will need to schedule a visa interview with the U.S. Embassy and present a Form I-20 or DS-2019, which certifies your eligibility to study at UC San Diego as an international student in F1 or J1 status. To request your I-20 and DS-2019, visit iportal.ucsd.edu and log in with your personal identification number. Note: applicable deadlines for requesting your I-20 through iPortal. See our iPortal video tutorial for more information. Once you've received your Form I-20 or DS-2019, review it for accuracy. Look at the first page, which reflects the program start date and your expected program end date. Note, this date can be adjusted if you need more or less time to complete your program. Lastly, don't forget to sign and date your I-20 or DS-2019 at the bottom of the first page where indicated. International students can enter the U.S. up to 30 days prior to their program start date. After completing the program, you will then have an approved period of time to prepare to depart or apply for other immigration benefits. This time is called a grace period. F1 students are given a 60-day grace period, while J1 students have 30 days. When traveling internationally, all international students will need to make sure they have a valid travel signature. This is located on the second page of the I-20 and the first page of the DS-2019. Each signature is valid for 1 year while taking classes at UC San Diego. Make sure the travel signature is valid at the time of re-entry. It is your responsibility to report any changes to your Form I-20 or DS-2019. We will go over these changes in another module. Your F1 or J1 visa is a document inside of your passport which allows you to travel to the U.S. port of entry and request permission to enter in that status. Note that you will need a valid visa each time you enter the U.S. However, once you enter, you may remain in the U.S. even after the expiration date if you are maintaining your non-immigrant status. Review your visa and note the number of entries, expiration date, and visa type listed for accuracy. Each time you enter the U.S., an immigration officer will stamp your passport with your status and admit until date. Once you've passed through U.S. Customs, you should go online to retrieve and print your record of entry. This is known as your Form I-94. Once printed, ensure the information shown is correct. Make sure the admit until date states D/S for duration of status. Also ensure your name is spelled correctly and that your class of admission reflects your current visa type. Note that if you change status within the United States, this may not apply to you. If you are having trouble accessing your Form I-94 or have further questions, please come in and speak to an international student advisor. These are the basic immigration documents that pertain to international students. As a travel tip, it can be beneficial to carry digital copies of your immigration documents. However, when traveling outside of San Diego and in the U.S., either by car, bus, train, or airplane, remember to carry original immigration-related documents at all times.
If you would like your family to visit you or travel with you to help you settle here at UC San Diego, they are welcome to apply for the B2 Visitor Visa. No supporting documentation is required by UC San Diego for this visa request. For more information about the B2 Visitor Visa, please visit travel.state.gov and search for Tourism and Visit. If you and/or your family members are citizens of certain countries, they may apply for the Visa Waiver Program, or VWP, instead of the B2 Visitor Visa. For VWP eligibility and application information, visit travel.state.gov and also search for VWP or ESTA. We hope that this step-by-step webinar has been helpful. Please be sure to check out the many resources available for further guidance on the student visa application process. Here are some resources below. inewstudents.ucsd.edu is a website and your one-stop shop for all new student information, including resource guides, timelines, and checklists, as well as arrival information. Information is helpfully separated by student level, undergraduate, graduate, and EAP reciprocity, so that you can find information specifically applicable to you. iTravel.ucsd.edu is a webpage that covers travel and re-entry, visa renewals, applying for U.S. visas outside of your home country, and much more. Another helpful website is travel.state.gov, the official U.S. Department of State website that outlines details with information about applying for U.S. visas. USembassy.gov is the official listing of all websites of U.S. embassies, consulates, and diplomatic missions. Studyinthestates.dhs.gov is a free government resource that explains the rules and regulations governing the international student process in the U.S. Lastly, cbp.gov/travel/international/visitors will help you get information you need to smoothly navigate the entry process and procedures if you are coming to the U.S. to study. For more information, please feel free to contact us. Our office hours are 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Visit our website at inewstudents.ucsd.edu for more information. If you'd like, stay in touch and follow us on social media.